So after you budget for your home repairs, furniture, or upgrades to your new house, this is the order I would save and invest the profit you made from selling your last house. This question came from Thor from firesidechat.com. Nice name. I'm guessing that's a call sign. Hey man, I enjoy watching your channel. I just sold my primary residence in Vegas and made about $250,000 in profit thanks to the craziness in the housing market. I'm in the process of PCSing to another state, and I just bought a new house with a zero down payment because of the VA loan. How should I invest that $250,000 I made from my previous house? Okay, so if you don't know what a PCS is, that stands for Permanent Change of Station, and it's when a member of the armed forces permanently moves from one base to another. So anyway, hey Thor, that's awesome that you made $250,000 in profit. And I'm gonna guess that you don't need to pay any capital gains on this because you probably met all the IRS requirements. If you're not sure about the taxes, then I would talk to a CPA to make sure you don't have to pay any capital gains tax the next time you file your taxes. So the first thing I would do is to set some cash aside for your next tax return if you need to pay taxes in the next year. The next thing I would do is set some extra cash aside for your new home. I don't know your financial situation, but if I were moving into a new home, I would set some extra cash aside for home repairs, and trust me, you will find something wrong with your new house. When I moved into mine, within the first 3 months, I had 3 things break on me. It was the garbage disposal, water heater, and the garage door. And it cost me a total of $2,000 just to repair them. That definitely hurt my budget at the time. By the way, if you have questions you want to submit, you can visit firesidechat.com and scroll to the middle where it says submit your fire questions. The third thing I would budget for is furniture. And Thor, I wouldn't spend too much money on furniture. I personally find furniture such a waste of money. I never understand why people spend $3,000 or $5,000 on a sectional couch just because it was made of some special material. I would write down a list of furniture you need and another list of furniture you want for the new house. I would also take a look at your kitchen appliances and find out how old they are so you have an idea when you need to replace them in the future. By the way, you can get our free fire resources by visiting firesidechat.com/contact. You can also check out the Fireside Chat shop, and I have all of my stuff on my bookshelf at firesidechat.com/shopping. So after you budget for your home repairs, furniture, or upgrades to your new house, this is the order I would save and invest the profit you made from selling your last house. First, I would boost my emergency fund to 6 months of expenses. You're probably gonna have more repairs to do within the first year you move into your home, and having 6 months of emergency fund would give you a peace of mind. And the second thing I would do is pay off your debt if you have any. If you have any credit card debt, student loans, or auto loans, this is the time to pay off your debt. I want you to live your life debt free. Trust me, this is going to change your life so much if you're in debt right now. If you're close to the retirement age, like in your 50s or 60s, then I would start working on paying off your mortgage early. The downside of being in the military is you have to move around every 2 to 4 years, depending on your rank or position. So if you're close to hitting 20 years or whatever time in service you want to retire at, then you should consider working on your mortgage to reduce your risk. And the third thing I would do is making sure your TSP is maxed out at $20,500. If you didn't have the money before, then you have the money now to max out your retirement. Since you're active duty, your TSP contribution comes out once at the end of every month, so your contribution is about $1,700 a month to max out your TSP. If you're already maxing out your TSP, then the next thing you can invest is your Roth IRA. The maximum contribution limit for ages 50 and under is $6,000 for the year 2022. If you have a non-working spouse, you can contribute another $6,000 to what's called a spousal Roth IRA. And if she's working, then it's just a regular Roth IRA as long as your total adjustable gross income is under $214,000 if you're filing taxes as married filing jointly. If you're over the income limit for the Roth IRA, then you always have the option to do the backdoor Roth IRA strategy, and I will put that video link in the description below. Your spouse could also max out her employer-sponsored retirement account if she's working. So that's a total of $53,000 you contribute to retirement if you and your spouse are both working, or $47,000 total if she's not working. The fourth thing I would do is making sure I contribute some money towards my kid's 529 or UTMA or UPMA. I don't know if you have any kids, Thor, but even if you don't have any kids now, but you plan to have them in the future, you can start investing in the 529 and designate yourself or your spouse as the beneficiary. When you have kids one day, then you can change the beneficiary to your child. Just remember that it's one 529 account per beneficiary. So if you have 2 kids, then you gotta have 2 529 accounts. It's up to you how much you want to contribute to your kids' future. Just keep in mind that you and your spouse's retirement should always come first. Your kids' college will last 4 years, but your retirement will last as long as you're alive. I will find out how much money it would cost to go to college 10, 15, or 18 years from now. The fifth thing I would do is setting some cash aside for something you love. If you're out of debt, have a fully funded emergency fund, and you maximize your retirement, then I would create a separate savings account to create another, say a travel fund or a hobby fund to have fun. And I'm not saying that you should go out and just put $50,000 on black at the roulette table. I'm saying you should have a purpose for every dollar you spend. For example, I love to travel. If I'm going to Oktoberfest in September to Germany, then I would find out how much money it would cost me to get a round trip plane ticket to Germany, as well as hotels, food, and transportation. If I want to splurge $5,000 on Oktoberfest, then I would set aside $5,000 and label that as a trip to Germany. So whatever you decide to do, just make sure you're being intentional with your money. And the last thing I would do is investing in a taxable brokerage account. If you don't have one, then you can open one with any broker like Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, or M1 Finance. Let's say you had $100,000 left after you contributed to your retirement, and everything else I mentioned earlier, you have 2 ways to invest that money: lump sum investing or dollar cost averaging your $100,000. I always feel better to dollar cost average when I have tens of thousands of dollars or more in cash, and there's nothing wrong with lump sum investing. It's strictly psychological. If you want to invest all $100,000 and put it away in an index fund, there's nothing wrong with that either. So if you want a dollar cost average, then you can invest $100,000 weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly until it's completely invested. Before you invest in anything, you need to make sure you do some research on the stock, ETF, bonds, or mutual funds. And the easiest way to invest is picking the index fund like the total stock market index fund or the S&P 500 index fund, because those are the mutual funds that mirror the stock market performances and require very little research. If you invest in individual stocks, then you should probably take the time to read the company's earnings reports, balance sheets, price to earnings ratio or price to sales ratio, and listen to their conference calls. When you invest in something you don't understand, then it's gambling. It's basically putting $50,000 in black at the roulette table. You should only invest in a company you understand and have faith in for the long term. And this is not financial advice, just financial education. And Thor, you should also check out our FIRE checklist, and you can download that for free by visiting firesidechat.com/contact. Also, because you're a veteran, you can sign up for a free 30-minute, not 20 minutes, financial coaching session by visiting firesidechat.com/coaching. So with that said, I appreciate you watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one.